Hey everyone. So in this video, we look at the pharmaceutical company Marksans Pharma Limited. We look at how exactly the company is doing, what are its future plans, and also we look at how it is poised technically so that we can either trade or invest in this particular company. So, a little bit about the company. As I told you, it's a pharmaceutical company. Basically, it is in the business of formulation and pharmaceutical products. Its key focus area is over-the-counter drugs, which kind of have application in fields like oncology, gastroenterology, anti-diabetics, and so on, antibiotics, etc. Okay, so the revenue bits and also the geographies, in which geographies does this particular company operate. So if you look at it, 51% of the revenue comes from pain management. That is basically your painkiller kind of drugs that the company sells. And 11% of the revenue comes from cough and cold, which is kind of there almost throughout the year nowadays, right? And then 8% comes from cardiovascular system, and the other 6% is from gastrointestinal issues, right? And, and the rest is from anti-diabetic, anti-allergy, and things like that. Now coming to the geography wise. So whether they sell more in India or is it an export oriented stock? So if you look at the particular revenue split geography wise, US accounts to 43%. That is US and North America. Okay. So basically, it's an export-oriented country, you can say, company, you can say, because 43% comes from there, 41% comes from Europe, Australia is 12%, and rest of the world. So basically, they don't have much in India, I would say, right? So these guys are focusing mostly on exports, and as you can see that the shipping costs, which had gone through the roof, have now corrected quite significantly, right? Which would again increase the operating profit margins for a lot of these pharmaceutical stocks and also chemical stocks which are in exports. So that is one good thing that has happened recently. That is the freight charges have come down. Since this is an export company, I'm mentioning about that. So this is about the revenue mix. Now coming to manufacturing facilities. So the company has three in total. So out of which one is in USA, which makes 6 billion tablets and hard capsules. So the US one makes tablets. Second one, the UK one makes 2 billion bottles per annum and 1 billion tubes per annum, and also 1 billion sachets, right? So the UK one is into bottling, into tubes, that is soft gel, and then sachets. So in India, they have just one plant that is into making of 2.4 billion soft gel and hard gelatin capsules per annum. So basically, they have three units, one in US, one in UK, and one in Goa. Okay. Now coming to R&D part, which is very essential for an pharmaceutical company because constantly they'll be trying to make newer drugs so that they can expand. Right. So the company's R&D expenditure is just 2%. Right. It aims to increase it to 4.5% in the coming few years. Okay. And the company has 50 plus scientists working and 70 plus products in the pipeline, right? And they have filed some 25 plus ANDAs and MAs. Okay, so this is basically what the company is doing there. So they are proactively trying to expand, right? So R&D looks pretty decent. And now coming to the future plans. So what exactly is the company trying to do? So it aims to add a new capacity of 8 billion units per annum in products like oral solids, tablets, hard and soft gel, etc. over the next 12 to 18 months. So the company has come out and said we are planning a 200 crore expansion plan, which would basically add all of these, that is oral solids and things like that. The company plans to acquire ANDAs to cut short development time and acquire front end marketing and distribution companies for expanding in growing markets. So whichever com- uh, markets they're growing in, right? They want to kind of accelerate that. It plans to enhance its product portfolio. So basically, every year they plan to come out with 12 to 13 new products, which is quite decent for the size this particular company is. Now, if you look at the fundamentals, it's a small cap company, still around that 3,000 crore market cap. ROC is very good, around 24%. Operating profit margin also looks good. So during the COVID times, as you guys are aware, it had shot up. I mean, for all the companies, it had shot up, but now it has cooled off. But even after cooling off, it is above the 15% mark, which is kind of good. And like I was telling you, the freight charges have come down, which should also increase the operating profit margin. And P, it is not at all an expensive stock. P is quite comfortable around 20, I mean 15. Debt equity, it is, to be honest, it's a debt-free company. Hardly 0.08 is the debt equity. So the sales and profit also look good for the last, let's say, if you take the last 3 years CAGR of sales or profit, those also look extremely good. And so does the cash flow. Cash flow also looks pretty decent, and whatever cash they are earning, they are kind of putting it back into reinvestments. So this recently in Jan, I think what happened was warrants. The company had issued warrants, right, to Orbimed Asia for Mauritius. It's a fund, right? These guys are global healthcare investment firm. So basically, these guys go ahead and do investments in pharmaceutical companies all over the globe. So those guys had warrants which were then converted into equity shares, and the company raised almost 372 crores from that. Okay, so one needs to look at how they will be using this particular funds, because it's not at all having any debt. So basically, these funds can go into again expansion, very strong expansion, because their previous expansion plan was just 200 crores, but now they have raised almost close to 400 crores, right? So this can also go into expansion. So fundamentals look really good for this particular company, and even on technicals, the company is trading near its 52-week high, right? It has made a cup kind of a shape. So in case if it kind of breaks out, right, it should start inching higher. So I have marked the supports and the resistance. So 93 is its all-time high. So if that is taken out, probably it can go even higher. But looks a decent company to invest in as well. It's a small cap company which is now cash rich and can expand further. And also looking at the fundamentals, those also look very good, because if you look at most of the pharmaceutical companies, except for a few, most of them have corrected quite significantly. But this one is going ahead and making 52-week high. That kind of tells us that the big guys are also pushing the stock higher. Okay, hope this helps. Thank you.